Hello, everyone, and welcome to Married to Bravo. Happy Monday night. It is I, Joleen, Lunzer, and Shanna Christmas, and we're here to talk all about the Real Housewives of Potomac, the final. It's the final countdown, the final freaking part of this reunion, Shanna.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Finally, the finale that we all wanted. Finally, some finalist finales. Finally.
The finalists of all the finales happened last night for our Potomac ladies. So if you're joining us live, hello, Winnie Mom. Hello, Jamie B. Shout out to all the subscribers, all the Lean Team YouTube members. Thank you for being a member. And those of you that support me on Patreon, thank you. But just being here, we appreciate you. Mikey, hello. Make sure you smash that like. Let's set a goal. Let's be crazy. Let's say 300 likes.
Whoa, you are crazy.
I'm crazy. Start fake YouTubes. You can have as many Gmails as you want. If you don't know, start a bunch of Gmails and then just come in like, and then never check the Gmails again. Okay.
And then never check them again.
And if you want to support the channel further, you can subscribe to Shanna Christmas. I mean, I feel like everyone should do that anyways. Follow us on social media at Shanna Christmas everywhere, at Joleen Lunzer everywhere. I am covering a lot of the Vanderpump Rules stuff on the Instagram and on the TikTok. I've started to gain a little traction on the TikTok. TikTok is actually very fun. Am I weird for saying that?
It's fun because you figured out how to do it. Because you got some traction.
Exactly. People watch. When people don't watch, it's not fun.
Right. You're like, I hate this because nobody looks at it. So, but now you're right on top of like the breaking news.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to talk about things you're passionate about and hope they are trending. And the one thing that I'm passionate about, Vanderpump Rules, happens to be trending. So do you watch that show?
I haven't in a long time. So I
get back on it.
I mean, get back on it. I think there's like the two people that got caught in the mess are like the only ones I remember from like the beginning. I don't know anybody else on that show. So I don't know.
I'm telling you, Shanna, watch. Stuff is going to happen. News keeps coming out. There's a cheating scandal that's very reminiscent of the first season, but it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm not even going to text Joleen. I know she's seen it. And then you just been dropping the green screen videos. You got all kinds of graphics and shit. You just doing it. It's like, she's on it.
That's my whole life. I haven't got my nails fixed. My nails are broken. I have my allergies are kicking my ass. I barely got any sleep this weekend because I was just like updates about Tom and Ariana and Rachel. So that's what's going on. But we're not here to talk about that. But I do want Shanna to watch it so that you can talk to me about it. But we're here to talk about Potomac.
Yes. Finally, yes. Let's talk about it.
And if you guys want to send a super chat during the live, feel free. They have super chat, super stickers, and we'll highlight your comment. Okay. So part 3 of the reunion, Shanna. We come in and it is back to Mia versus Jacqueline. There's glitter, receipts, and Jacqueline was like, you're not a CEO. Gordon's a CEO. You're a liar. You said you were with my mom on freaking Mother's Day. You weren't. She's like, I was through FaceTime. You brought me on this show so that you could have a storyline. Gordo never bought me or paid or put money down for my Porsche. We've never had sexual relations, not even fellatios. This is all fraudulent. I hate you. We will never be friends. And I was just like, oh my God. What did you think of Jacqueline versus Mia?
I mean, when I saw what Jacqueline was saying, I was like, I called that. I was like, she's literally just bringing you on the show so you can be her little step wench or whatever and like make her look good by being her little henchman. And so she can make you look like crap and saying that she gave you all these things. And like, you look dumb being her servant. And that's what you were there for. And then you realize that wasn't a good idea. When you watched it back, you're like, wait a minute, what am I? Why am I doing that? I called it.
Yeah, exactly. You did call it. You totally did. My husband's closing the shutters. This is shutter closing time. So we could see your what?
Oh,
serial
wow.
Stop
assassinator in
it.
our neighborhood.
You
Wow.
stop.
It was at night. He was jerking it. right in front
No,
of us.
Chell, I'm
Yeah,
only
you know.
5 minutes into the stream. You're gonna get me demonetized. He's talking about serial masturbators. Oh my goodness.
Your
He'll do
neighbor.
anything to get me to close the shades and the shutters because I like, even when it's dark, I'm like, just looking. I don't care. Like otherwise I feel
Oh, no,
claustrophobic.
you know,
Every time you
that's very
close
white
a
of you.
shutter, an angel kitten gets its wings.
An angel kitty gets his okay, George Bailey. Hello, husband. Yes, Shutter Island. Thank you, Whitney Shutter. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. But you were right, Shauna, because as much as Jacqueline, okay, yeah, your points are valid. Why did you agree to go in and be fraudulent with Mia and go with these lies that she allegedly, according to you, had you lying about?
Well, you know, I think that's indicative of the show. It's like they plopped her in there just to be part of a storyline to make her best friend, her sister, seem more valid or whatever on the show. Now, normally
Mhm.
behind the scenes, the girls are doing that, you know, plotting different storylines, but you already know who they are. And so next season, we're going to talk about this. But with Jacqueline, she was new and they kind of were in cahoots. So, like, I'm going to be on the show too, but I got to make you look good somehow. So she agreed, I think, because she wanted to be on the show and she wanted to support her friend. But
That makes
it
me look
got,
at her like, giving a side eye, like, okay, Jacqueline, I was all in on you and I still want you to come back next season. But now I'm like, are you a little too much like Mia for
well,
our
I think
liking?
that power dynamic too. I think that since they've known each other for so long, it's like big sister, little sister kind of mentality where she's like, yeah, just come on the show and do the thing, and then just kind of play along. And she's like, okay, like,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. And I don't know, but I liked her receipts because as soon as she was like, you lied and said you were with my mom and you weren't, and she's like, I wasn't. Like immediately was like, that's right. Like, oh my god.
I like how Mia's like, well, I got receipts too, and I could read them. And okay, I won't. I won't. Did she even show any other?
It was
Like,
just
because
like
she just
text
says,
messages and she was shuffling them around and everybody was like, but
yeah,
what's on it?
like you
Nothing.
said you were hooking up with a married man. Oh, really? Well, then show that.
Yeah.
If you have a text that says where Jacqueline says, I am having intercourses with a married man, I would like to see it. But instead she was like,
She
okay, fine, whatever.
she had an empty glitter box, girl. It was a waste of a prop.
What a waste. And she probably crafted at Michael's and, you know, hopefully she earned some like Michael's cash for that because that was a waste.
It was we were expecting
Complete.
something, but it was like, why did you open that box? There was nothing even valid in there. You were just like getting called out for being a liar, and then you just admitted to being a liar.
Yeah, exactly. So then Jacqueline leaves and we're like, we'll probably see you next season. Maybe we won't. We don't know. I don't think the contracts for the new season are out yet to the ladies. Charisse enters with prom hair. What was going on? What's with Charisse? And a side cut in her dress.
I just be, you know, you ever see somebody on TV, you just be like, oh God, you just can't wait for it to be over. You're just not excited about them. You just know it's gonna be some BS. It's just not even, girl. She's goodbye, Charisse. I
She's like,
can't.
hello, I'm here. And just so you know, and Andy made it a point to say, we invited her.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't talked to her in 7 years. I'm like, maybe there's a reason why. She might still be rich, but she's also boring.
Right, but why did they bring her back just so she can chase Karen around? Because he was like, it looks like that's what happened, but she didn't call us. We called her so she can chase you around.
Yeah, they wanted to try to get something out of Karen. Karen gave just a little, but really it was for nothing. Oh my God, did you hear the latest? Katie Rost or Roost or whatever, who used to be on the show. Remember Katie?
Yeah.
Askew wig,
Yeah.
lovely, love her. She said she had sex with Charisse.
When did she say that?
Oh my, I gotta pull it up. I was gonna do a video about it, then this Vanderpump pump stuff hit. So I think she put in a tweet. Sex
Why
with
did she?
Charisse.
Why did she do that?
Okay. So we don't know. So she's really been campaigning to get back on the show, which I'm like, she's newly sober. I think she went to like a rehab or whatever, and then she got herself a job, and then people were ripping on her because she's doing kind of like a maybe not a service industry job, but maybe like a retail or something a little more like working class job. But apparently she's worth like 3-4 mil. But she's like, I'm doing this job, and then people are trying to drag her. But if you don't know a lot about, you know, sobriety and going through programs, you know, there is an amount of it that is about kind of, you know, giving and acts of service and things that are to make you realize that, you know, you are just kind of a speck of dust in a giant's eye, you know, that you are to kind of put things in perspective for you and doing real things. And so there, I think that probably has more to do with her sobriety journey. I'm assuming maybe she's in like a 12-step. I feel like that is incorporated into that. But people were trying to drag her, and I'm like, because she was like, and then she did a video and she's like, and I'm putting things in the trash. So I'm not too good to be by a dumpster. And I was like, you're not. You are definitely not. We can all. I was just like, okay. But she had a point. Like, there's no reason to drag her because she decides to, like, you know, have a job and things like that. She doesn't need the money. She just, you know, maybe for her own sanity and sobriety and her program. So yeah, former RHOP star Katie calls Sharice Jackson Jordan out for hookup. We had sex. What? She took to Twitter to drop a bomb regarding Sharice Jackson Jordan. Maybe next season on #RHOP, they will ask at Sharice Jordan about the night we had sex and I lied for her so she could get her settlement. Maybe, question mark? I'm not bitter, just saying. Or maybe she is so entertaining, we will all be amazed as never. So she wants on the show again. I know that.
And I saw those tweets. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's a real story about these two doing it, okay, come. All right. I mean, I do think, my personal opinion, it might be a little too early in her sobriety to put her under this kind of pressure, but she's the only one that can really judge that. So yeah, I don't even know if Sharice responded, but I'm going to tell you, I believe it.
I mean, I would prefer Katie come back to do the show and explain that than have them drag out Sharice to try to explain or deny. I don't want to see Sharice. I just don't.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of bored with her.
Yeah, even that's like, okay. Like, that's not even exciting enough for me to want to see her ever again on the show.
Yeah, I mean, the lesbian hookup does give me, like, more interest than Sharice brought, but I don't know, if it's enough to bring her back.
It is interesting because she said she lied so she can get the settlement. Is that from her, like, her divorce? Like, is there some kind of clause in there, like no hooking up with chicks or something like that, so where she couldn't get the money? Is there an infidelity clause in there that Robin couldn't get in hers?
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is. Because otherwise, why, other than, you know, she's just, it was like a drunken hookup and she was ashamed or something, Sharice. But like Mikey's saying, she relapsed and started over like 3 weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to believe it because I feel like maybe it's just me, but I could see them hooking up. Is that?
I can't. I don't think Sharice is that fun.
Well, she was under the influence. Remember when at Robin's bachelorette party, at least she was like, she was sloppy. So sometimes sloppy gets you into all kinds of beds and all kinds of stuff.
But she just doesn't seem like a fun time.
Well, you don't have to be a fun time to have sex. I know lots of unfun people who.
Well, what I'm saying, I wouldn't be hanging out with her and being like, yeah, out of all the people, I wouldn't hook up with Sharice. Is what I'm saying. I just
I see what you mean. However,
she wouldn't be like, you know, if people are all showing their coochies to everybody, I'm not like, and Sharice, let's see yours. Like, that's not. She's not the person.
But if Katie's under the influence at the time as well, I mean, we've all had moments, maybe not all of us, but I know I have, where the lights come on at the bar and I'm like, oh, we were making out, you and me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm sure people have felt that about me too, but
I just think I would have to know the entire scope. Like, where were y'all at?
Yeah.
Who was with y'all? Like, what were your other options? I can see, like, you went over there, it's your friend, she was talking about the divorce and it was just y'all too, so that was the only choice in the room. But if you out with a bunch of other people and there's way more like outgoing and fun people, to be like, this person is fun, I would like to hook up with them. You know what I mean? I feel like if it was just her and Sharice, then okay.
I just want to believe it. I just want to believe it. I can see it, and I don't know. Yeah. And Mikey, you're right, because I'm seeing on page 6 that Katie reveals she relapsed. I failed, but I'm starting over. And she's, asking for the Housewives gig back. So
What did she relapse on? Is she a drinker or what?
I think there were Adderall.
Oh,
I think
damn,
it's
it's a
Adderall.
shortage, girl.
Oh, you know what? I decided to abstain from drugs. She said, okay, so this is according to page 6. I decided to abstain from drugs, White Claw, and Adderall, and sex.
Okay, White Claw is too new for you to be having an addiction to that. I'm sorry. That's not old enough for you to be like, I'm addicted to White Claw. And it takes entirely too long to feel anything, honey. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need you to be doing something else.
But with enough Adderall?
There is a shortage.
Is there a shortage of Adderall?
There was a big story about that like a week or two ago. Like the people who actually need Adderall are like, I don't have any because all the other Adderall heads are stealing them.
Yeah, all the thin Hollywood celebrity types
Right.
are like,
You ain't going to school.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, she said that she started over and she's gonna, and sex. So that just leads me to believe that maybe, maybe they did do it.
I mean, is it bad that I would prefer to see a Katie relapsing on TV over Charisse, who's just like sitting there boring? Is that bad of me?
I think that's very comedian of you for sure.
Okay.
Like,
I'm
I think that...
we love an in and out of rehab story. Like, what'd you do this time? Oh my gosh. You know
There's
what I mean?
Ozempic is scarce too. I've been trying. I
God.
want to get a hold on some of that Ozempic. My friend.
What is that for? Because I just know the commercial, but I don't know what the drug is actually for.
Well, they found it was used for diabetics, but then they also found that it is good, or they already knew, obviously, like weight control, but the FDA approved it to then be given out for like weight loss. Now my friend in the medical field said that they've only found, now this is, again, please Google this because I know nothing and I claim to know nothing, but I also know everything. They tested it on animals, which horrible, but maybe the animals wanted to be thin. Do you know what I mean?
What kind of animal?
Exactly. What kind of animal? Maybe it was a very large animal that was like, I've always wanted to be thin. They're like, okay, come here, deer. So it was probably like a deer or something.
It was a New York rat.
It was a New York rat. Yes. Something nobody likes because some people like deers. Okay. It was, a New York rat. And I think their fallopian tube. What's the thing in your fallopian tube is not in your skull. It is the Pythagorean theorem is not in your body.
Pituitary gland?
Not a pituitary, but it's like in here. Something got a tumor.
Pineal?
No.
Okay.
Something by your brain. Maybe it's a pituitary. It's a pituitary. That's what it was. Okay, I remember now. It's pituitary. And that got like a tumor or something. And I was like, okay, that's kind of scary. But how thin did you get? You know what I mean? Like how little. But right now everybody's taking it. Like Jeff Lewis on his podcast, the guy from Flipping Out, he was like, you can get it so easy in LA. And
what's he taking it for?
Accusing Kyle Richards of taking it. They want to lose 10, like 15, 70 pounds.
All these people that have access to the best nutritionist and the damn gym membership, you gonna take the Ozempic from everybody else who's struggling? Oh,
right.
Lord.
Leave it for us poor people.
Go get some lipo and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, but I hear lipo comes back in other places, which
what
if it comes back in a worse place?
Well, if you're supposed to do the lipo and then change your eating habits, you can't just do lipo and then keep eating like what you was doing before you needed lipo. That's the whole problem. Yeah, that's why it comes back.
A lot of people I know who have had the weight loss surgery, they don't change their eating habits.
I know, and then they don't change their body doesn't stay changed for very long either.
Oh man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes, it can cause thyroid, Zoe's saying. So there's some stuff, but
maybe that's what Mia was taking.
Maybe we don't know. Well, I think she would be she's already like she's not fat at all. I mean, she's very thin. They all are. Because then you see them in real life. We know how that works. And because TV, when I'm on TV, it adds like 60 pounds. I swear. Anytime I see myself on camera, there's no way I look like that.
A whole
and then
60 pounds.
Yeah. And then everyone else is like, no, that looks like you. And I'm like, no, that is not me. And they're like, no, that's you. That's actually very flattering. I'm like, no, that is not me. So Jamie B used to weigh 240. Jamie B is like tiny now.
Wow.
What's your secret? Ozempic. But everybody's on the O. Everybody's doing the O. And Kyle Richards is pissed that she's being accused.
Oh.
But she's tiny. And I'm thinking, what? She said, well, I just gave up drinking for a little bit. Well, how much were you drinking?
But
were
she also has
your
some
body weight,
body image issues too. I remember her speaking about that, where she like,
does.
always wears like the big shawl thing, and she
now
hates
she's
like bikinis.
Tiny. She's
Is
like
she?
this big. Oh, she's so little.
Oh.
And then she started going to the gym, and now she's ripped and little.
Oh.
And she's doing that thing where when you're like ripped and little, and then you pull up your bikini bottoms and give yourself a coochie cutter, just like.
I gotta know. You know what? I'm glad that the white girls are going back to being small with no asses, because I'm tired of y'all walking here trying to look like the rest of us with the donkey butts. It's not natural. Get on back onto your Taylor Swift up and down lowercase L body. You like that? Be top heavy. Have all the booties you want. Leave the booty to us. Just have your big titty moments, but leave the booty to us. I'm so glad y'all decided you no longer want a fat ass. Good for you.
And you know why the white girls are going back to the skinniness is because the Kardashians.
Yes,
so
the Kardashians,
whatever they do, we
their
do.
booties suddenly went away, and now it's good. Go follow them somewhere.
I just living in LA, you probably remember, like, I saw so many women who had like the Larsa Pippen, but little bird legs, and I'm like,
what's Larsa Pippen?
Oh, the Housewives of Miami. She used to be married to Scottie Pippen. She used to be best friends to Kim Kardashian. They had a falling out. Not sure what about, but she got a butt job. And
these BBLs be killing y'all.
I don't think it's not my favorite butt job. It's not my favorite. You can look it up.
I am.
It's kind of like a diaper. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of them they get, and that's like the diaper butt in a way.
Because their legs are skinny.
Yeah. So it's just like you filled your diapers, and so yeah, that's, I don't know. My butt is big, but it doesn't really pop super well.
Yeah.
It's gotta, but I think I have to do squats or something, I don't know, actually. Maybe it's not meant to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just what it looks like, man.
Yeah. I just have the Midwestern white lady butt, and like I have a shoveling butt.
Yeah.
Like I was shoveling snow and not bending my knees. So my back's gonna be bad in a couple of years. Oh my gosh. All right. I got us off on a tangent. Back to this stuff. Charisse, she confronts Karen. Karen's like, what you said, Andy's like, you said all these horrific accusations. And Charisse is like, it's true. I mean, did Charisse really tell us? Did she bring any receipts? We didn't even get to picture of blue eyes. Nothing.
Right. She made the face like she was going to say something else. Because remember, Andy was like, is there more? And she was like, but I don't remember if she said what it was.
I was very sleepy, and I was like, it just looked like she was going to adult prom. And I'm like, why are we going to adult prom? I
mean, you saw Karen pull out her nail file.
Yeah, Karen is yawning this reunion. She's doing all the things. So Andrea's saying last night I watched Eppin's Live, Larsa swore up and down that her butt is from working out. Shauna, you just saw that, but Shauna works out. So
nobody's butt looks like that from working out.
Thank you. Also,
it's like, whatever.
That's not a working out butt. It's,
Somebody find a picture of her before all the work is what I want to see, because before you start working out real hard, I imagine you didn't look like that. Like,
why don't you just say that you got the BBLs? Just say it. Don't spray it. Like, seriously, it looks like a BBL.
Because they all look like the same butt. Like, you get a BBL, it all looks like the same exact butt on everybody. It's not like you're up. It's like this heart-shaped thing. And it's just no one believes anything. All
No,
of you guys lie. All of them lie. It's like whatever. It just
nothing
yeah.
is real. Nothing is real. Now they have the glamour filter on TikTok. I've been doing videos in that filter,
Yes, I saw
and
one.
I tell people, obviously, this isn't me, and they're like, duh. But I'm upset. I'm just like, wow, she's so pretty. Who is she? But that's that thing where I just feel bad for people that aren't adults, like kids that have to grow up and think like that's the ideal or that's the norm.
Well, I mean, there are adults that think like that too, which is the problem with social media.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all looking at being sad.
Right? Andrea said she posted a before pic from season 1 and she doubled down. It was Larsa, stop lying. Why are you lying?
Right.
Why
I
are
don't
you
like
always
this
lying?
person.
Larsa. Oh, Larsa. Okay. So Charisse is there. They have their little moment. I didn't think it was anything very memorable going on. Charisse is like, she basically is like, I didn't even want to be here. Andy called me and then she sachets out and says, don't I get a song? And they're like, Charisse, let me see how you look. And she's just like, mm-hmm. And then she left as soon as she came. And that was that about that. Now, the real action happened when Chris Bassett comes out and confronts Giselle. Shanna, what did you think? Because he was very obviously emotional, passionate, aggressive, all the things I think you would be after 10 months of someone falsely accusing you of something, but not saying what you did, just that you made them feel uncomfortable. But what did you do to make them feel uncomfortable?
I was saying that exact same thing this entire show. Every time we did a recap, I kept saying, but what did he do? But what did he do? But what did he do? But what did he do something? Because what happened? I don't. It's just semantics. You guys are in an uncomfortable situation, which is what I said. But he didn't do anything to you. You were just in a room that you weren't comfortable in, and then he left. So
how'd you feel about him? Because I think some people might feel some type of way. Maybe they don't. Let us know in the chat about him like yelling at her and
yes,
swearing at her.
valid. Because he kept asking, "What did I do though?" And she's like, "Well, we were in the room. We know that. We already. I said this part first. I'm leading you up to what I did because he explained it. I went to the room, and then you said I made you uncomfortable. But what did I do? Well, you were part of the situation. What are you talking about? Like, I was frustrated just like he was. I've been frustrated the whole damn season because she kept saying all this other. He's a sneaky link, and he was talking bad about Candace, and he was trying me. Like, but then you said actually he didn't do that. So what did he do? So he's very, very valid to scream at her because she was over here dilly-dallying. Oh, you're not going to cuss at me because I'm not going to have this conversation. Because you don't know what you're going to say. That's why. You're going to sit here and lie, or now you're caught because everybody has. That's all that was. You got caught. And you're like, a man is yelling at me on TV and I don't want to be here. I'm uncomfortable. No, stand in your lie right now or apologize. I can't stand that. I hope she goes away.
It seemed like, you've had, like he said, you've had 10 months, like 10 months to freaking concoct this. And still the way she's describing it, it sounds like a lie. Cause she's like, well, cause she can't say because there was nothing he did. It was a feeling she had, which is valid. You can have that feeling, but to go spread a narrative that he somehow caused that feeling when he gave ample opportunity to be like, hey, I'll leave. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. You're just afraid people are going to look at you and think that you are possibly doing something with a married man, but you're making him sound like a whole ass predator. And he's not. And he's like, that hurt my business. That hurt this, that, and the other thing. And Giselle, she just was like, well, then whose fault is it? It's no one's at this point. Well, it's your fault for passing, trying to pretend this guy is some kind of predator. But just because you have this feeling doesn't mean he did anything. That's stuff within your head. And you could have easily talked to them before being on camera, and she had an excuse for that. And then she had, what else was she saying? She was, when she called him like a sneaky link or something, and then she did apologize.
Yes. Well, yes.
But it was
like, I shouldn't have said
not
that.
a good one.
But you should have said it because nothing happened. After all this time, you are sitting here lying this whole time about him saying all this stuff, and he was trying me because many married men have tried me before, and he was trying to see if I was with it. Was he? What did he say? Tell us what he said, and when you were uncomfortable. What did he say?
He said, you were laying on the bed in your robe, just like this. And she was like, no, I wasn't with her. But he goes, yeah, over your dress. And she was like,
you
I
were fully
wasn't.
clothed. Yeah.
No, I
But I
see
was
that
uncomfortable.
happening a lot
Yes.
on Bravo is they put their, they're like chilly or whatever, or just getting comfy. They still have their dress on and they throw a robe on. So,
Right.
and then Bravo pulled the receipts again of when last reunion, because she's like, you asked to talk to me and you, but it all stemmed from Giselle.
Jumping
Chris
in and
having a
saying, "Are you mad?"
reaction. Yes. To, Nicki Minaj's questioning of Candace and having her sing. And then he felt some type of way and he didn't want to talk about it. He said, I'll tell you later. So he probably came to tell you because you were in their business.
Right. You want
It's
to be
that
nosy.
easy.
And then he went to go talk to you. And once you realized nobody from your team was in the room, he said the door was propped open. And she was like, no, it wasn't. Well, how did you know if he was lounging on the bed?
Yeah. And then he said it's open. And then she said, no, it was closed. And he said, but it's, on hotel doors or whatever, you can do the lock thing. So that's probably what it was. And then she said, well, you didn't know that my friend, whatever her friend's name is, that's been on the show since day
Cal
one.
or something.
Yeah. Cal, he wasn't there. And he's like, well, is that the only person is he on staff? And is that the only person you have? How would I know that? It's all these assumptions being made. And I think what happened is, just what we've talked about is Giselle just doubled down on a bad. She thought she'd have this take. She could take Giselle or take Candace down while possibly protecting Robin from them talking about Juan. We can talk about that later too, but she just kept doubling down and doubling down even when it looked really, really bad.
She is I hate her.
Well, it is like deplorable what she tried to do to this dude with no reason.
Well, the reason was because she's right, like you said, she's trying to protect Robin, so nobody's looking at her man in somebody's hotel room that she knew about because the girl was DMing her. I just don't think
it's funny that it's about a hotel room and that's exactly what Juan is getting in trouble for. Oh my God.
Specifically, yes. I just don't like, because that's what even Candace was saying. She was like, you guys, you say this stuff, and then you are the reason why some women can't come forward with stuff, because people like you sit there and lie about people. And that's then, true. It's a big old damn problem because they don't believe
all it takes is one story, one woman to lie, and then they hold it against everybody else, and then no one's telling the truth because that one innocent guy got framed or whatever. And there's so many women that already don't feel comfortable because like you said, the people doubt you. They're like, no, she's probably doing this to get back at someone. Listen, the last thing you want to do as a woman for revenge is to concoct some kind of trauma and go through all the correct, how they say, correct steps and avenues you have to go through when you are accusing someone of any kind of essay or things like that. I mean, but Candace is right. She really is holding women back.
But it's so annoying too, because like even throughout the reunion, like she said something and then Ashley's jumping in and being like, oh, sometimes she embellishes. Just shut up. Stop making excuses for her. She's a damn liar. And you are too. And your little Cookie Monster friend's a liar too. All y'all got together and made up lies about everybody's husbands. And now you're trying to cover for each other. Oh, sometimes Giselle just exaggerates. Shut up. No, she don't. Y'all sit around here and y'all lie.
Yep.
All of y'all do that.
And the only predator is Ashley Darby's husband. That's the only one that we have proven, we know, we've seen it. We've had actual reports from cameramen. That is the only predator, is that dude.
I mean, the footage though too, you're making these accusations and there's cameras everywhere. So I know every episode that comes out and it shows Chris not talking to somebody or Chris not looking at somebody or Chris not doing this, and here you are being like just a manufactured mess trying to tarnish somebody's name and all that kind of stuff, and that's whack. I hate all of them.
Yep. They clearly we're trying to set him up because so many came at him, and clearly Ashley's in on it with them, and it's too much. Speaking of which, what a great point Chris Bassett had about you talk about my wiener all the time. Why does she get to talk about his wiener? And
I forgot about that.
Well, Candace does. Well, Candace is his wife. And maybe that's a consensual, he allows her, but you don't see his wiener. So if someone was talking about her vagina or her boobs, if Chris was, oh my God, it would be over. but she can talk about his wiener.
Yes. He's like, on several occasions, you've brought it up
Mhm.
on different episodes. Like, I'm picturing it, I can see it, I'm drawing it on a board, I'm doing all the, yeah. And he's like, I
She's the
never
one.
said you made me uncomfortable, but this is a situation where this could be harassment on your part. But here you are talking about we was in a room talking and somehow I was a sneaky link. Like, you the one keep talking about my junk all the time.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Bravo needs to do something HR wise and make an example, I think, out of Giselle in this situation, is that you can't just be throwing out these accusations for a storyline, because they're very serious and they affect people's lives and they affect real victims in these kind of situations. So some kind of like HR class throw at her, give her a season off, dock her pay, give it to Chris for the business he lost.
Right.
Something, there should be some kind of retribution, because I feel like she's just getting like a little tiny slap on the hand.
Well, that's what Candace was saying too. She's like, your proximity to whiteness allows you to say these things with no consequences. But if I say something like that, nobody even believes what I'm saying, or I'm the one getting dragged on the internet for being emotional about it. So it's that same kind of thing where you could just sit around and plot people's demise and no one's going to do anything to you. And it's annoying that she even walks around like that. For all of them to kind of sit around and think that way, it's just like, it's gross.
Yeah.
So I thought they were all both valid for yelling and cursing, because that's what I was doing too.
And he accepted the apology, I think, just in an attempt probably to move forward. Now Candace, I love that she was like, no, because if someone did that to my husband, you would be dead to me. I would never forgive you. There wouldn't be words, because it went on too long and the lies are still happening, and it's not really, her apology sucked.
And it only came because she was up against the wall looking like a liar. That's all. Because she could apologize at any time.
Andrea said, what business did Chris lose? He's barely worked since Andrea, maybe he had some catering deals, book deals.
I thought he worked at that hotel. He doesn't work there anymore.
He did.
And I imagine it's probably because of that, or maybe, I don't know.
We don't know. He would have to prove that if he was gonna, take her to court for like, defamation or something, and that it took money out of his pocket. But we see how it is very hard to prove, defamation, because then you have to prove that it was done with malice, which actually probably wouldn't be that hard to prove.
Right. I was going to say, it's on television.
I mean,
clearly, I shouldn't have said that it was the wrong choice of words. You mean the wrong choice as it didn't happen? Because that's different. Like,
it just pisses me off that we spent a whole freaking season. This is one of the worst seasons, I swear, with Giselle just saying, it could have easily just been like early on in the season. You know what? I was uncomfortable because I didn't want you, Candace, to think I was doing something with your husband, because I never would. So out of respect for you, and also like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been alone with Chris, because that's what she's saying. It's about her being in a room with a married man as a single woman, and she had a husband who was a cheater, and she doesn't want to be viewed as a homewrecker. So it's everything about her. So she could have easily went to Candace if she was worried about that, and done it on camera and been like, we had a conversation in the hotel room, and all of a sudden I looked around, I'm like, no one's in here. And so I just want you to know, coming from a background where I've been cheated on a lot, like, I respect you, I respect Chris, and that would never be something. But then she's like, he was drunk and he was, and so then it makes it look even more lascivious, like he's like, hey girl, you want to see my brown wiener? And you're like, but he didn't say anything like that.
But the thing is too, is that like, Candace trusts her husband. So I don't even think that was the first thing Candace was worried about, because she was there too when they said, I'm mad about this thing. You're being nosy, so I'm going to go talk to you about it. I don't think Candace would have been like, are they in there having sex? I don't think that was the thought process in that day, was that. So for her to be like, I'm a single lady in a room with a married man, it's like, you guys are at the reunion and you guys are talking about what just happened. He's not in here doing anything to you. So she's
just worried about her reputation.
Right.
But Candace doesn't think anything, nor does Chris, and no one would know you're in the room alone with him because the cameras didn't film it. So you bringing it up was only to cause harm to Chris and Candace and put something out there to make it appear that something might have been happening, or there was intention of something to happen that wasn't, and that she was uncomfortable with. Because I mean, did the guy even get to sit down when he was in the room?
No, he said he was standing by the door.
Oh gosh, I know. It's just like, this is, and we have to keep talking about it. And
Yes.
then the fact that Chris had to, Chris has never been like my favorite housewives husband at all. He's no Eddie Osefo, but in this regard, he is. They did him really dirty. They did him really, really dirty.
And it's so strange because like I don't think Chris ever did anything to them. So who was that
I don't
for?
know. I always thought they had a good rapport.
were
Him and
friends.
Giselle always had a
Yeah.
friendly, like funny
Yeah.
rapport. I almost said flirty. But I think like
So
I
was
mean,
that
maybe,
trying to
like-
go against Candace somehow? Was that supposed to make Candace?
Yes.
I just feel like that whole angle didn't make any sense. If that's supposed to be your friend, why are you even trying to sabotage that? That's so weird. Because now nobody likes you but Robin.
right? And who knows if she's going to be on the show next season. Now, speaking of with what you were talking about earlier with the proximity to whiteness, we have another colorism conversation occur with like we were talking about Candace going off on Giselle and basically telling her that, your white skin allows you, your lighter skin, but I think she might have said white skin, allows you to, run your mouth and say this kind of stuff. And people will believe you, like you were saying, Shanna, more than they would believe me. And then I understood what Candace was saying because we just had that conversation. But then we see everyone, including Wendy, backtrack on the colorism thing and say, well, you probably shouldn't have said that. So it felt like Wendy might have been trying to help her friend, but she was catering to the lighter skinned women. So again, they don't have to take responsibility for their own unconscious bias and colorism and their own privilege from being lighter skinned.
That was Wendy's chance to be like, this is exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm bringing it up because you get to say whatever you want and not worry about the repercussions. But if I say something like that, people don't even listen to me. But this thing carried on for an entire season. But I was disappointed in Wendy for not backing her up. Like she literally was like, well, you have to spare their feelings because now they're upset that you said it like that. And she's like, I said what I said.
Yeah. And I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I do mean it. I'm not sorry. And she shouldn't be, because that is exactly what they were just talking about. So it just proves that segment wasn't long enough. It needed a moderator or something. And that Ashley, Giselle, Robin, Mia, they don't really, then that just proves that they didn't really get what Wendy and Candace were saying to them. It was it was sad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. Like they talk about the colorism and they say, I don't believe that. And then like the next thing they do is like perpetuate it. Like, you're doing it.
It isn't. Okay. So that's what I didn't understand, because in this, and if I'm wrong, you guys correct my ass in the chat, but isn't it like they're saying it was offensive and colorism for Candace to say that Giselle has a privilege with her white skin, but that's the definition of colorism, that a privilege comes with the lighter skin. So she wasn't
it's reverse
being a
racism.
colorist. Yeah. It was just her mentioning the mere fact that she said your white skin, they thought was colorist because it took away from her being a Black woman or something.
No, that's them grasping for straws so they don't have to be accountable. This is reverse racism because you said that we were colorists, but now you're mentioning color towards us, and now we feel like we're the victims. No, shut up. You know what we're talking about. Y'all are deflecting because you're caught. That's all.
Yep.
They could have all taken a moment and say, you know what, I understand what you're saying, and she shouldn't be reckless with her mouth, and she probably does. Like Ashley said, she has a privilege. She can, she gets treated differently. And here we are letting this narrative go for the entire season and nobody questioning it like that, because I imagine because she looks the way she looks.
Yeah. I'm Awake says Ashley basically called the Green Eyed Bandits white passing in season 1. So why was she so outraged that Candace said the same thing? I think it was like merely because Mia got upset too, that she said you're a white woman. And when it sounded like Mia was saying you're taking away from her and she's a Black woman and you got to recognize that. But I think Candace was just in that moment, she's defending her husband. She's so sick of her. So she just said, you're white skin. But she just meant, exactly what I'm Awake is saying.
We all knew what she meant.
Yeah.
We all knew what she meant. I'm telling you, they all felt that in their spirits because they knew it was true. And they were just like, oh, we got to jump on something and change the subject because we know we get away with stuff because we look like this. They knew what she meant. Everybody knew what she meant.
It was so frustrating. And then to see Ashley, come up and like clutch her pearls. And we just had this freaking conversation and you
Right.
just said you understood. And now
Right.
you're proving that you don't understand at all what's happening in this moment. And it just felt like Candace was just left out.
We want to attack Candace is what that turned
Yeah.
into.
Mhm.
We turned it right back on her and attacked the brown skin girl for pointing it out. That's all it was.
Ugh, it was so frustrating because I'm just like, now, like, even Carlos King, what we talked about last week with his live, it just makes even so much more sense. He probably was able to see episodes before they even came out. I don't know if he is still, but how upset he was especially because he was talking, I think, like mentioning Wendy, and now I can see like, oh, okay, Wendy. But I mean, she didn't speak up then, but we, when you and I talked, it's like, she could be tired and she could be like, oh, fuck, how many times do I have to explain this to these chicks?
I mean, I think when they tried to have like the discussion about it, she might have been tired. But when you have it actively going on in the heat of this thing, where someone's husband being accused of something, and your husband was too, by the way, of smiling at people, you know what I mean? It's like she had a chance to be like, wait a minute, this is exactly what we were just talking about. But she was just like, Candace, watch your mouth now because you're making everybody upset.
You're making like the light-skinned women mad, and now they're going to say, that you are being colorist against them. That's what it sounded like. Andrea is saying, if you listen, you can hear production in the background saying how wrong Candace was. Oh, I didn't hear that.
I don't think production should be making their opinions known at all while they're back there working. So, and I don't care. I stand by what Candace said. So she was not wrong. I don't care. Production, that's your job. Fine. Don't work for the show then. How about that? Go find another job.
Yeah. I didn't hear that. And I mean, I guess that doesn't matter because all I could hear was all of the housewives, like Mia, Robin, Ashley, and Giselle, all being like, oh, like that was the worst thing they had ever heard.
You literally just watch this woman accuse somebody's husband of being a damn predator, and you're more worried about her saying you have white skin. Like, shut up. Y'all know what she was talking about. I don't like that. Just say, yes, we get it. There's a proximity to whiteness. We pass as white. They take our word seriously over anybody else, and we need to work on that. Like y'all said y'all was going to do in the last episode. But no, it's just back to the same old crap. So I hated it.
Yeah.
I hate this show. I don't want to watch anymore.
Right? Just like I'm awake saying, it's not fun. This like isn't, and it can still be fun and talk about serious issues. I like those kind of reality shows with serious issues, but it's just like, it's all for naught because no one is really caring about what each other's saying. None of the friendships seem to be genuine, so they don't give a shit. And then their morals change whether they like the person or not, which is what Giselle told us last week. So it's like, there's no connection that these women have anymore. So what's the point of watching them?
Right. It's true. I even saw, I think it was Z-Way.
She's so funny.
She literally was posting. She was like, y'all got to do something about this show. Either like get rid of everybody or something. It's not fun to watch. We don't like them. They don't like each other. Y'all got to do something about this because this manufactured storyline stuff, it's just, we don't want to watch that. So
no, they're not having fun at all.
Right.
Like ever.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. It's not like split teams. It's nobody really likes anybody, but if I hate this person more, I'll team up with you for a little bit.
Right.
And I need some kind of genuine, friendships. And I guess the Green-Eyed Bandits would be, they are really friends. They rarely go after each other. I mean, I feel like Robin, at least this season, didn't fully back Giselle when she was making those accusations against Chris. But then I also wonder, like, but were they in on it? With knowing what we know now with Juan and that situation, which we'll get into. Anything else you want to say about that, or just?
I'm just trying to think about like if they're who's actually really friends, because Candace said that she was friends with Robin, but I don't think that I'd be friends with Robin anymore either after that, because all her antics during the season, trying to call me out over my IG live and pulling out the speaker and then not really having my husband's back or my friend's back, or like all that stuff is like, you ain't my friend no more either. Like, that's one thing that this show is proving. Like, it will ruin anybody's friendship. If y'all in here just trying to stay on a TV show, you'll just throw your friend of many, many years under the bus so you can stay on a TV show. And that's all this show has done, is just ruin people's friendships.
100%. Hey, princess, just checking in from the garden. Hello, house of princess. Yeah, and make her look like the good guy because, it gives Giselle a storyline. So Giselle can take the fall for this one. She probably thought more people, like the fans wouldn't be as outraged as they were with her accusations against Chris. And then it would keep Robin in the clear. And then Robin could keep her friendship, again, I'm speculating, with Candace and look like a good guy. And so it served both of them. But I feel like we see you.
Everybody clocked that. The whole season, it was like, we don't like this. You over here plotting. We don't like y'all. Y'all, this is lies. We don't like it. Like, it didn't work.
Legally, Leah said, light-skinned people have rights too.
They have lots of them.
That which is which the colorism discussion told us. And it's, I don't know. Again, white lady opinion or what commentary about it, but it just was frustrating to see Candace and not have backup after people just got done telling her they understood and backed her up. But hey, but we love all of you in the chat. Next up, let's see. Oh, the husbands. I mean, Chris gave us the most. Eddie was just smiley Eddie. He was just like,
I'm not flirting with you though, Andy. So
yeah, I'm not flirting. I'm just smiling. Gordon cries.
Yeah. Did you see Robin laughing at him while he was crying?
No, she did not.
Yeah, she was kind of like smirking while he was crying. She's like, yeah. If you go back and watch it, she was smirking while he was crying. And I don't know if she was laughing because everybody knows that Mia doesn't have cancer. And so they were like, why are you crying about this person? She made up a whole... You're crying over a lie. I don't know. Somebody should ask because remember it was like, do you have cancer? No, I actually have this thing that might be cancer. So I was like, why are you crying, Gordon? He said, well, I thought she was going to die. Like, but you also heard the doctor's appointment when she said she ain't going to die. So...
And you're the one that reminded her, no, they said you're not going to die.
Right.
I can understand that when he was probably going to the doctor at first and she was being very dramatic about it. And anytime there's something where you have to go, he said like 3 times a week, but who knows what we can believe now with Mia. You would be scared. Like, oh my God, they can't find anything. Like your mind goes to the worst.
Of course.
So, but even Mia, I noticed she was just like, don't cry. Like she didn't let him have an emotion on that.
She was surprised that he was actually emoting over it because she was like, oh, I thought we were both just kind of like for the storyline.
Right. But Mikey says fake tears. Zoe says he had real tears. I kind of feel like his were real, but I feel like Gordon is so depressed. And I've talked about this all season. I feel like he's got one foot in, one foot out. But these kids, he's just like, oh, I know she's younger and I want them to have, their mom around and I don't want to deal with another divorce because doesn't he have grown kids as well too?
Probably. I imagine. I don't know nothing about Gordon
because he's like 80.
He used to have another wife, and so because they met on the beach. Remember when he was married to somebody else?
Yeah.
So I imagine he got some other kids too, honey. I don't.
Oh goodness.
He was crying because he was thinking about his life. He's like, damn, if she died from cancer, I gotta watch these kids.
All of them.
And I'm 80.
All 3.
Yeah.
I just want to retire. My brothers took the business from me.
Right. Why did they ask Gordon about that?
Why didn't they? Huh. Interesting.
Gordon, now that we have you here, are you a board member or are you a part of the bureaucracy?
Are you one of the 8, the 4, the 2, or what are you? Also, what was this? I felt personally attacked during this. Do you guys know when I felt personally attacked during this reunion? It was by Mia. She said, someone asked a question and Andy read it, or it was his question, I think, or he asked her a question about the elaborate story she was sharing about Karen during the season about her with some restaurateur guy and, knowing about some affair or something. And then she goes, did someone in Minnesota tell you to ask that? And I was like, did someone from Minnesota? Was it me? Was it me? Who's the Minnesota person?
Hilarious.
But really, we haven't talked about anyone from Minnesota. So is there, there's like obviously I'm kidding. I know it's not about me, but I was just like, who is this person you think is from Minnesota?
That's a very weird reaction. Instead of answering the question, you're like, someone from my family in Minnesota, from my white family.
It was, was it Joleen?
Was it Joleen, my white cousin in Minnesota?
My vampire skinned cousin. It was I was like, this is odd. And then she goes on to she then won't say more. She says less, but then says enough. And it's like one of her family members that Karen was allegedly with, or what? I was like, I can't.
Somebody had posted on Twitter last night after the reunion that Marlo video where she goes, "Today drained me." You know, it's like that's why I feel like every time something comes up, like y'all are just exhausting with these things y'all be doing.
It's
like,
just
why?
And it's just throwing more shit out that doesn't make sense. Karen was like, Ray, do you believe it? And Ray, what do you think? And Ray's like, Ray threw down the dad card. Ray was like, everybody's dad, everyone's grandpa. And he was like, I'm disappointed in all of you. I'll never forgive any of you. You're all grounded. And I'm pissed. And Karen, she normally doesn't go that low. And I'm like, Ray, everybody goes low. And he's like, but she had to, because you guys are coming for her. And that's when Karen says that her talking about Juan's girlfriend that looked like her, she was just kind of mad, and maybe there wasn't.
But there was.
Okay. So the guys leave, you know, cute little Ray takes a sip of his insure and he is out the door. Chris is like, I feel a little vindicated. At least I got to speak. Giselle, you've done all the speaking, all the interviews. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Good for you.
Then we wrap up the actual reunion with Andy coming out with a wireless speaker with Candace's song, which the more I hear Candace's song, the more I'm like, I like it. I'm like, oh, and she's all excited. And then watching all of them dance was funny because Robin didn't really want to. She was kind of like,
well, she can't dance, number one.
And then Giselle was like,
she also cannot dance. It's that proximity we keep talking about. It shows up. It shows up in your body when you try to do stuff. You're like, that feels Caucasian.
Well, that's the game that, you know, me and my husband play when he watches me dance. Is it dancing or seizure? You know, you just don't know. Convulsions.
I feel like you can probably dance better than Robin and Giselle. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I think I can too.
Yeah.
I think I can. I did take tap dancing, jazz and ballet when I was little. Like, pull out a time step. At least.
Gregory Hines. Okay.
So then Andy asked about Robin or a little earlier too, and you got married. So there's a whole segment which is like, yay, they got married, but we know there's this cat that's about to be let out of the bag after the season, and then we're gonna get an interview at the end, and then he's like, what do you have to say? And then she addresses the haters, and I'm like, no one's hating Robin. We're just realistic, and we know that how Juan acts and how he's acted in the past and how weird this relationship is. So whatever. Then we go into reunion over, Andy Cohen, Ebony K. Williams, and Robin. Watch What Happens Live, extended interview of Robin talking about this cheating situation that happened during the pandemic or with Juan.
2021.
Okay, 2021 with a Canadian who was, I mean, the story, every time I hear it, it gets weirder and weirder because it's like, what she's like, well, you know, it's pretty basic. This woman hit up Juan, as you do, and yeah, they were talking, and she said she was going to date someone from the
Baltimore Ravens,
and for some reason
he couldn't.
I don't know why.
Hotel. The football player.
She went to the U.S. and she went to a casino, and then she contacted Juan, but she wants to hook up with this other guy, not Juan, and she says, "Oh, I lost my wallet." So Juan felt bad, as you do, and paid for her hotel. So is that the only time they saw each other? Yeah. I mean, yeah, because he just gave credit card, put his credit, and then he left. And then he said he had his hands tied behind his back the whole time. He used his mouth to get his credit card out of his wallet because he's very faithful. And yeah, and then the woman was like, "Thank you," and he was like, "No hugs," and she's like, "Of course not. You're gonna be married." And then he went on his way, and everything is fine and dandy randy. And Andy Cohen's like, "Well, did he have any contact with this woman or any, did they hook up at all or whatever? She's like, no. And he goes, well, how do you know? Did you see the text messages?
I don't want to see him.
I don't want to see him. No. Why would I want to see him?
Can I just ask a question?
Of course.
So Juan didn't come to the reunion because he was working. Did anyone check Coppin State basketball's schedule to see if he in fact was working the day they taped the reunion?
That is
now.
I feel like Andrea will know. Andrea knows it all. Andrea, I hate to put anything on you, but if you want to check that out, let us know. I don't even know the date of when they taped, but was Juan working? But again, the day of the reunion.
Somebody altered the seating arrangement of the reunion. So
oh yeah.
Put them numbers together, look at the schedule. Maybe the seating chart. Yes, you have a date.
Maybe he was doing laundry, Shanna. Maybe he was doing laundry.
Oh, right. He was doing laundry. But if they filmed the reunion in the spring, or look, she said they had a game.
Andrea, you are on it. They had a game.
He was not working.
But was postponed. So he could have went.
He did not.
He wasn't working, but he could have been doing laundry. He could have been doing laundry. He does love laundry.
There's the wash. They didn't play.
Well, he's superstitious, and even though they were ready.
Oh, he didn't want to go because he didn't want to go. He was not
Thank you,
Andrea. Robin. Oh, I'm so glad I asked that question.
That was a good question. You should take over for Andy Cohen because we would find out.
Timeline together. You keep saying Juan's at work, but we checked and their game got canceled today.
Mm-hmm. So where is he? Where is he? I'm Awake says, is there a penalty for the husbands not showing up? It's clear Juan is over it. He likely will never show up on camera again. I mean, it's clear he hates it, but you're getting a paycheck, sir. You only hate it because you keep getting caught in stuff you shouldn't be doing.
I mean, okay, so this story, listen, I've been offered to get flued out by many an athlete, and I've turned it down, but I'm definitely not going and calling somebody else to help me pay for it. First off, if you get to the casino, why are you going to gamble before you check into your room? Like, go put your stuff down. Go put your stuff down first and then come down and play your slots. I don't understand why you just sitting at the slot machine with your luggage doing this thing and then you lost the wallet in the casino. Where? What do you know what I mean? Like, when you go to a hotel, is that what you do with all your bags? You just sit it right on down?
Yeah, I just belly right up to a slot machine, put my bags down, and I'm just like, yeah, baby girl. No, you go to the room.
You go to the room, you put your stuff down, you check in, you get your key, you look at the window, you take a pee because you've been traveling all day. Like, that's not my first thing, is to go and lose my wallet at the casino. Like, girl.
I mean,
and call some other man. I came to see this guy, but I'm going to call this guy. This guy's not even a professional athlete. The NFL guy has some money, I think, for a hotel room.
Why wasn't he answering? I mean, no man pays for another man to get vagina, right?
Listen, but also if he lives in Baltimore, why ain't you just at his house? I don't understand why he put you in a hotel anyways. I mean,
maybe he's there too. Everybody's married.
So you're going to call good old reliable Juan.
And Juan, just such a good guy. Just and that, Robin was like, he felt bad. Listen, that is none of Juan's business unless Juan is in that business, literally, unless he's in there or trying to get in there. That's none of his business that she doesn't have a place to say. I'd say, well, that's too bad. You're going to have to contact Trudeau, the Canadian consulate, and see if they'll let you back in, because I have a fiance I've already cheated on. We've already been divorced. We're trying to get remarried. So me paying on the sly for a ladies' hotel room that I'm talking to, that my fiance doesn't know I'm talking to, but it's only platonic, is not going to go well.
But also, you could have paid for that room over the phone. That's how all of us pay for our room.
Oh, shit. Yes.
You don't have to you have to reserve it with a card.
So that means she showed up at the casino hotel
without
a room.
Right.
So yeah, you could have easily just booked one online. Oh my, this is getting worse
See?
and worse. Andrea says on Patreon, she said she was there the first night, but lost her wallet the second day and needed to cover the room. Don't you pay? They have your card on file though. Cover the room because she canceled her credit card after she lost her. Well, you know what? This sounds like not a Juan problem.
Why is this Juan should not have communicated with this woman because she is just as bad at stories as Juan
He
is.
sure has a thing for the ADD chicks because I can borderline relate being ADHD myself, and Robin has the ADHD, and we're losing shit and we're canceling stuff before the thing. So even his side chicks have ADD. It's crazy.
So you canceled your credit card and then you didn't have a.
So it wouldn't pay for. It ran it for the first night, but the second night it wouldn't run it. But if it was canceled, it would void out for all the charges, right? Because they don't charge your credit card until you leave. They just do a hold on it.
Right. So you could have paid with a debit card when it was time to check out.
Yeah.
You didn't need the credit card.
You can hand them cash. They just want your card for incidentals and in case you break something. So maybe she was partying really hard up there and just breaking shit. And
maybe her and Juan were having a good time up there and breaking shit.
It just is. You're right. And if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. And that's the best Judge Judaism ever. And that's the fact.
It's
then
she tried convoluted things. It's too many things. And
too much.
I didn't want to see the text messages because I know that's what he do anyways. Girl.
Robin, I want better for Robin. Like seriously, I know she's been whatever, but I just want better for her.
Robin must have done something wrong in the past because this karma she getting is eating her ass up. This karma is eating her up, boy. I mean,
it really is.
Girl, she should want better for herself, but she wants that roommate. That's what she wants. She don't want to meet nobody new. She don't want to learn nothing. She don't want to grow.
But wait, Shanna, it got better after that happened.
Oh, did it?
Remember, she said, well, actually, which there are people that write books on this, that some couples get better after cheating, but you have to be honest about it and stuff.
Right.
And so she said that they went to therapy and she goes, our relationship actually is better. So we've already worked through it. So then Andy asked her, why didn't you say anything? Well, because no one brought it up. And
Karen.
because Karen didn't say anything. So I'm not going to say anything. And it didn't have anything to do with our current storyline. So he's like, so you think if it's not happening right that moment, you don't have to talk about it? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't affecting anything. Well, was it affecting you possibly not marrying Juan right away? And that why the wedding was pushed off? And she goes, yeah. And he's like, well, then that's affecting your storyline because your whole storyline was you guys getting remarried. And she's like, fuck, I didn't think that one through.
I feel like when they're at home practicing, like what questions Andy's going to ask, they don't do the follow-ups very well. They just do like, he's going to ask you this, you say this. There's never like, well, what if you need somebody like, well, what if he says this? Like you've done this show enough times to know there's going to be a face and a rebuttal. So you weren't prepared to be like, but you guys were talking about getting married the entire season. And that's why Karen didn't believe it because somebody was cheating and you didn't think that was affecting. That's why you took so long.
And you don't think your boss, who you didn't give the full story to and do your full job, which is show your life and be transparent. Right. Instead, you went behind your own paywall while the season just you hadn't even, or the season was wrapped by then, but you went behind your own paywall to share this information.
But she also said,
you don't think he's going to ask about it?
She said, I found out about the thing in November of 21 and we started shooting in March of 22. I'm like, that's not enough time to be over it, I feel like.
I guess if you're Robin and you just live life like this, you want to see the text message, babe? No, I believe you. I believe you.
No,
there's so many reasons to believe you. There's no reason to believe Juan Dixon at this point. He looks like he's cranky all the time. He has a history now of these other women. So I have to believe either she doesn't care and it's a roommate situation like you're saying, or she herself has a boyfriend on the side and he's like, well, you have my back and I won't talk about your boyfriend. Because like Mikey's saying, she was messing with the boyfriend who took the money. So who made them the guy that misinvested their money or because that's how they lost their money initially, right? There was a guy, a friend who they gave money to,
right,
to make more money or something. And then it was like, oops, it's gone. And then they didn't. And then was there tax issues too? I think so.
But then she said she didn't do the infidelity clause, but she was like, well, it might be a setup for me because what if
She did.
girl,
Then why get married? If you guys are
what
going to
are
both
y'all
go
doing?
into it, why don't you just say you had an open marriage? Why don't you? It just doesn't make any sense. Because why would you go into monogamy if you're like, well, I mean, I kind of might want to get some too. Why don't you just stay roomies, or just admit you have an open marriage?
Today drained me.
It's so true. That Marlo meme makes so much sense.
Every time there's another one there, you're just like, oh God. So everybody, you and Ashley making all this stuff about the prenup and the da-da-da. You got nothing. You just did all this. What
For
are you?
nothing. Because he's definitely going to cheat. She's like, no, it's 50-50. He gets 50. Because we've been together long enough where we wouldn't be where we were without each other. Yes, you wouldn't be on television having to defend your husband again for being unfaithful.
Right. All by yourself. Getting kicked in the face on TV every week when they ask you questions about it because he won't show up.
Andrea says, I believe Robin would have never spoke about this if the story hadn't. I agree. I agree.
To the grave. Well, she wasn't. She said I was waiting for Karen to out me.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And then the lady outed her.
And then he said Karen did say something about him cheating. But that was with a different girl. So that's why I didn't say nothing.
And did you see Ebony K. Williams? She was just like,
"Woo, them sips."
Ebony was,
she was.
She's just like,
because she's like, I'm a lawyer.
On
that don't
TV
even
too. Like
that don't sound. I'm a lawyer, and that sounds like some bullshit.
Right? Oh my gosh. Oh, Andrea is saying in the chat, I don't want to highlight it because YouTube gets weird about that kind of stuff. But apparently the man that stole their money took his own life. Oh, again, the show is not fun.
They were sleeping together and they found,
Chick Penny said, these women are a disgrace to prenuptials. It's just like, what's the point of this?
Do it.
Just don't do it. Who cares? Go have all the wiener you want. He can have all the vagine he wants, and you don't have to be married, and we don't have to waste our time. On a storyline of a wedding, you clearly neither of you want.
Man, I'm telling you, Michael Darby gonna make a comeback next season. It's gonna be him and Juan hanging out, and it's gonna be hilarious. I'm telling you. Nobody wants to hear from Michael Darby more than me right now. I just want to know what's happening. How'd you get her to not get nothing in this prenup? Please tell us what you did. Please tell us how you. Please. So,
do you think he's dumb enough to come back and tell us?
I mean, I wouldn't say he's dumb, but he's pulling some power moves behind the scenes, and he knew Juan because he hung out with Juan. He's like, we're cheaters together, man. We'll be out here in these streets. Juan was jealous of our relationship. Yeah, he's like, well, Ashley and I were having threesomes and stuff, and then whatever, and so that's how we live. And Juan was like, man, I wish we could do that. He's like, you can, just don't tell your wife about it.
He's like, I got these. Yeah, I remember that.
I want to hear from Michael Darby. That's you. Well, that's right, people. You heard me. Somebody find him and ask him get Robin, get your TMZ camera out and find Michael Darby. Ask him what he knows about Juan. Go ask Michael Darby about your husband.
He is out in the streets though because he is suing Candace.
Who's suing Candace?
Michael Darby.
For what?
He's suing Candace Dillard Bassett. Your oral sex claims are BS. So Real Housewives of Potomac star Michael Darby is taking Candace to court for defamation after she claimed he offered up cash to have sexual relations with another man. According to legal docs obtained by TMZ, Ashley Darby's hubby is suing Candace over comments she made during the latest season of the reality series where she didn't hold back during one of her many arguments with Ashley. On the show, Candace tells Ashley, your husband likes to leave you and go to a man named Bleep's house and suck his bleep. She never says who the guy is, but Candace later claimed Michael paid for sex. Michael's calling BS on all of it, adding that he sent her a cease and desist earlier this year regarding her comments, but claims she has yet to retract any of the allegations. He wants $2 million in damages to make things right. Fans of the show know Candace and the Darbys have had a long-standing beef, with her calling Michael and Ashley out numerous times. Looks like the latest incident took things too far, though, at least according to Michael. They reached out to Candace reps, according to TMZ. Didn't hear anything. Good luck with that, Michael Darby.
I'm sorry, Michael, but I believe you do pay for that.
Also, not defamation. It would be, again, I mean, he can say, I think that she's doing this because she doesn't like me or Ashley. She wants to hurt us. So you have to prove that there's intent, malicious intent.
And prove that damaged your business somehow. You have to prove that what she said in turn made something in your life go away or be worse.
I don't think he'll win that because he's already been accused and seen on camera grabbing butts of dudes and stuff.
Right.
And Ashley's already said they had threesomes, all this stuff. So his sexual life he already put there out on camera. I mean, I guess paying for sex just because it's illegal in most states, but I think it can just be seen as gossip. Candace's whole defense could be, that's what I heard. And we're on a show where we talk about what we heard.
Right.
If it's not true, it's not true. But I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not privy to the law like that. But yeah, I want to see his deposition too, Dee Marie.
Yeah. Yeah, bring him in. Bring in everybody. That's what I'm saying.
It's definitely going to be discussed. And I want to see Emily D. Baker talking about this case. I hope there's cameras in this defamation trial.
Oh, there always are cameras. Well, at least if they're doing it's a civil suit. So it'll be in an office. And then
I'll bring Judge Joleen back. Hell yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to get you a gavel too, Shanna. And it'll be Judge Joleen. Judge Shanna.
I did a big one.
Hey, my mom's in the chat. Shout out to Nana. Hi, ladies. Just stopped in to hit the like. Everyone should. I agree, Nana. I agree. I'll be back with Nana Friday for a night pants with Nana. But that's all we got. It ended. You could tell Andy's pissed. Shauna, do you think Robin is going to be asked back?
I hope not. They just need to start over. I can't. I don't. I mean, if they ask her back, so the rest of the cast can just drag her about that the entire season. And then by the end of it, she'll probably get divorced because Juan can't take any more.
Oh, remember how upset he got? He was like, it's like, sir, you keep doing stuff. You keep doing stuff. That's why there's always going to be speculation, because you've been caught now a few times and you have really bad excuses.
It looks like Juan is a sneaky link, Giselle.
Oh, wow. Maybe Giselle could learn to use that correctly and call it out to Juan. So, we finished the season, Shauna.
We did.
The only thing I'll miss is Mondays with you.
Yeah.
We'll have to think of something else that you and I both watch that we can cover together.
I'm telling you, they want us to do a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch.
Oh yes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I feel like that would be fun.
That's a lot of seasons.
It is a lot of seasons, but we could just do one season, the first one, and see. Maybe that is for members or Patreon or something, hide it behind a paywall.
Yeah. And then Juan will be in there.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Split,
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out something about that, because that would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be really fun. Yes, Buffy. Mikey's like, yes. Yes. Andrea says they're already filming.
Who?
Potomac.
What you mean? They just filmed a reunion.
I didn't even think they got their contracts yet, but I believe Andrea, because Andrea always knows. I'm telling you, she knows more than Andy Cohen. Andy, hire Andrea. She should take over, because Andrea always she's like, nope, this, and you look it up, you're like, damn, Andrea.
Andrea's got the 411. Clean up midnight.
Bravo TV. Oh, they're filming Ultimate Girls Trip?
Which, another season?
They already got 2 in the can. We're waiting on 3, and then they got 4 already filmed. So they're filming 5? I'm confused. I'm
The cameras
confused.
are always rolling, people.
Always rolling. All right, Shauna, where can everyone find you? And before you tell us that, what are you at for subscribers? How close are we to the 1,000? We got to get there.
I think I'm still kind of sitting around 580 something, 585.
Guys, subscribe to Shauna. We got to get her to 1K.
Yeah,
That's a sweet spot, baby.
I know. I'm at 586.
Hey, that last time you were at like 560 something.
Or maybe I was like, yeah, I think so.
I'm telling you, have some hot takes on Vanderpump.
This last video I made about putting underwear around your neck to see if they fit, they got a lot of views.
More of that. More of that. Find more underwear things.
Yeah.
Clearly, people
Find me
wanna
talk about
hear-
Vanderpump in my drawers.
I mean, they've all been in their drawers together and they've taken their drawers off together.
Well,
So there you go. Yay. Yes. Yay, Shauna. Everyone subscribe to Shauna. Let's get her there. Andrea says, no, I was suggesting you cover. Oh, Ultimate Girls Trip. Yes. Well, it depends if Shauna ends up watching it.
I might watch it. Yeah. When is it starting though?
Yeah. I don't want, I don't know. Do you have Peacock? If not, I'll give you my login.
No, I
Just
have
kidding, Andy
Peacock.
Cohen. Okay, good. And then if you don't want to, like, if you're like, I don't want to commit to everyone, you can just come when you want. You know, you have an open door policy here, Shauna. No pressure. Even though everyone in the chat is probably like, Shauna, come back. Shauna, come back. You can blame it all on me. Okay, I gotta learn the words of that. Baby, come back. Have you ever heard that song?
I do, yeah.
Okay. I'm like, am I too old?
No,
Because that's an older song, right?
Yeah, I forget who sings it, but I definitely know it. Yeah,
Right. That was a good one.
they used to put that song in like commercials and stuff for like.
I was just gonna say that's
Yeah.
how I know half of those songs because those commercials where they were like, buy this album or cassette, and it was all
Yeah.
these different songs. They just play a little snippet of it. And
Yeah,
they're like, baby, come back. And watching TV at night, and then it would be, the next song. I miss those commercials.
yeah, they don't make albums like that. Just they just have to click on it. It's like a Spotify playlist now.
Yeah, you just make your own playlist. But back in the day, kids, you
Yeah,
had to buy a dedicated album with a bunch of mixture of jams, and you just hope you like them.
you get a disc. They would be
Yep.
3 discs together, and then you would
Yes.
open it up and put it in a thing, and then you would skip to the song that you like, Caribbean Queen. Do one of
I
those.
was sharing the same dream. Oh my God, Tom Sandoval. I made a joke last night that Tom, that's in this Vanderpump Rules scandal,
Yeah.
that I was like, I don't know what he sings. Like, he sings weird songs. I don't know. He like Captain Tennille or something. He does like cover band stuff. He's like karaoke. It's like grown up karaoke, but he hired a professional band for it. And I was like, I don't know what he sings. Maybe, like Billy Ocean, but hopefully not Billy Ocean. But sure
Right.
enough, he tried to sing Caribbean Queen because I've been stalking him online. And it is, Shauna, it's screaming. He's just like, Caribbean Queen. And I'm like, dude, you can't. That song is so beautiful and so well. It's not like, how dare you, sir? How dare you?
I went to a karaoke birthday party
Oh.
yesterday, and there were a lot of struggle vocals in the room. But I think that's what karaoke is. You're not all going to be Whitney
Right.
Houston, and we don't want you to be. Be
No,
horrible.
that makes sense when you are doing karaoke, but when you're charging people
Right,
a
that's
ticket,
true. That's true.
and you are
hired
singing.
a band, yeah.
He like he shit on Caribbean Queen. Like in it, it was. Oh, I was so mad.
No, please.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay, the end of March is when the newest one, Andrea saying, thank you, Andrea. We're gonna call her Andrea Cohen. Thank you, Andrea Cohen. Says, or Andrea Bravo too. The end of March, Candace goes in on Giselle and Portia. Yeah, that's the Ultimate Girls Trip. So
Yes.
maybe we'll get Shauna back, but like Stephanie's saying, go subscribe to Shauna Christmas, you guys. You won't regret it. Follow us on all the socials. Anything else, Shauna? Go buy your book. Go to your website. All the fun stuff.
Yeah, get the book. Yeah, I'm gonna be in LA still for the rest of the month, and I'm doing your show next Monday.
I'll see you Monday. So we'll make sure to post pics of
Yes.
me and Shauna live in person. Maybe I'll do a little video for the vloggy or something, but that'll be fun. I'm excited to see you.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you for covering this season with me. I know it wasn't a fun season, but I feel like we were so fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me to do it, to be honest, because it's like a fun thing to do for YouTube and stuff. And so I've learned a lot from
Yay.
doing this with you, and your fans are great. And yeah, this was fun.
Cause my fans are your fans and your fans are my fans. It would take an eternity to bring us. How to hang up on a heart couldn't hold us. I don't know.
Clap your hands.
If I should die this day, don't cry. Okay, that was the first, I think, copyright strike I ever got on YouTube back in the day. Was I used to just turn on my webcam on my laptop and start singing Whitney Houston. But like just
So you're not allowed to sing it yourself,
lip-syncing.
or you can't play the music.
No, I was lip syncing. I was playing the song and lip syncing it.
Oh,
And I
like,
thought
you
I was
can't
really,
even
I was
sing
like,
it yourself.
you can sing it yourself, but I was like lip singing, like Friday night you and your boys went out to eat. And they hung out, but you came home around 3. Yes, you did. You know, and I just kept, it's not right, but it's okay because it's like one of my favorite songs ever. It's such a good song because everybody's had a situation like that. Like,
Yeah.
this doesn't make sense, you know.
One night, this Canadian girl came down to Baltimore to meet a football player. And then she went to the casino, and then she lost her wallet.
It's not right, but it's okay. Robin's gonna make an excuse for it anyway. Keep your bags. You're still in the house. Do the cop and state laundry. Oh, fantastic. Shanna Christmas, thank you so much for every week that we've spent together. Thank you guys for joining us. Like we said, follow us on the socials, all that stuff. Leave a comment after the video post, subscribe to Shanna, and we'll be back collabing very soon. But other than that, have a great rest of your Monday night. Remember to enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Good night. If you like what you see.